Washington at our new
President Clinton's new mixed message for Bosnia. To the Bosnian people, don't count on us to stay forever. To U.S. troops, don't count on getting out. Winter and El Nino slam the Texas Panhandle with a deadly ice capade. Also tonight, we'll take you to El Nino's worst weathered target of all. New medical research. There may be a memory drug that really works. And the power of faith to change the world one person at a time.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. President Clinton is flying home tonight from a pre-Christmas in-and-out visit to Bosnia, during which he saw firsthand the ravages of war, urged Bosnia's leaders to live up to the Dayton Peace Accords, thanked U.S. troops for their service in the Balkans, and hoped to sell the American public on an indefinite extension of the peacekeeping mission. All this in 36 hours. CBS News White House correspondent Scott Pelley is traveling with the president.
The road to Sarajevo was lined with the victims of the bloodiest violence in Europe since World War II. The president had never seen anything like this shattered city. When he met the people of Sarajevo, he could see the suffering and the hope. The faces left a powerful impression.
Welcome to Sarajevo.
Then, minutes later, Mr. Clinton stopped in the middle of a speech to tell what he had learned from the experience.
We just came from a coffee shop where we were talking to a number of young people. And then I said, now what is the most important thing the United States could do to help you on your way? And in unison they said, stay for a while longer.
Stay a while longer. Lieutenant Sean Swab is one of 8,000 Americans who knew already that the mission was not ending soon.
A lot of guys are afraid of what will happen if they go back. They're still not, they understand peace is going on right now, but they're not sure if it's going to stay that way.
Tonight, outside Tuzla at the U.S. Army's Eagle Base, the president came to congratulate his troops and wish them a happy holiday. But in his speech, he could not tell the soldiers what they wanted to hear the most. When will the mission end?
Our nation is at peace and our people are secure because of you. Your sacrifice makes this possible.
It was only 5 years ago when 2 shells fell in this Sarajevo market, killing more than 60 civilians. Today, the president returned to that spot to tell the people of Bosnia they must build a lasting peace.
The world is watching, and the world is with you. But the choice is yours. May you make the right one.
It is a choice that will be made over time. The American GIs are in for the long haul. This will be the 3rd Christmas that finds U.S. forces in Bosnia, a place still far removed from peace on earth. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Eagle Base, Bosnia.
Joining the president on his visit to Bosnia were the First Lady and their daughter Chelsea, who's on Christmas vacation from college. They greeted the troops, the First Lady saying she would pray for them. Bob and Elizabeth Dole also made the trip to Bosnia, as did a congressional delegation. Dole brought the troops holiday greetings from back home and said he supports President Clinton's Bosnia policy. In this country, winter and El Nino have arrived with an ice-cold vengeance, especially in Texas. Another winter storm warning is in effect for the Texas Panhandle through tomorrow. This on top of the weekend's blitz of snow, sleet, and torrential rains that left at least 8 people dead. In Southern California, El Nino-related winds up to 70 miles an hour knocked over at least 4 big trucks on a San Bernardino County freeway today. Some of El Nino's most drastic, dangerous, and sustained impact is taking place right on the doorstep of this huge and powerful weather mass in and over the Pacific Ocean. CBS's Bill Whitaker went to El Nino Ground Zero in Ecuador.
At Christmas time in Ecuador, the faithful pray to El Nino, the Christ child, for comfort. But this year, at the cathedral in Guayaquil, the largest city, they're asking for divine protection from his devilish namesake, the destructive El Nino weather system.
Pidiendo a Dios.
Father Marco Perez says, for the last 2 months, we've been asking and asking God to pacify this terrible storm. Like some biblical scourge, El Nino has brought flooding and death to Ecuador. Heavy rains the week we were there caused 8 deaths. This baby drowned in its own house. Someone opened the door and the baby was floating in the water, she says. Along the coast, the rains washed away mountainside shanties, floated caskets out of crypts, even brought fire. This explosion sparked in gasoline-laden floodwaters. The wicked El Nino has ruined millions of dollars of crops and left thousands of people homeless. But it's not the devastation El Nino has brought so far that has Ecuadorians most concerned. It's what El Nino has in store. You see, this month marks the beginning of the real rainy season. Alberto Sanchez wonders how things could get any worse. We took a boat up a normally small tributary to see his rice field.
This looks like the river. What is usually here?
This was all rice-producing land, he says. His land has been under 10 feet of water for 3 months. When he told his father he'd lost the whole rice crop, the elder Sanchez suffered a heart attack and died. Neighbors for miles around are suffering from El Nino.
Is it all ruined?
It's all worthless, he says. People here curse the rain and the government, which has been painfully slow responding to the disaster. The papers ask, who's in charge?
We have problems.
Luis Carrera, the head of the El Nino Task Force, says the government is doing the best it can, but admits it was caught off guard.
Did the government underestimate how bad this might be?
I think no. It's not possible for my country to solve all the situation. We need help.
Last week, help came in the form of an $85 million loan from the World Bank. But people here have little faith in the government's power. And with the ocean-borne El Nino expected to stay hellish through March, many Ecuadorians believe divine intervention is their only hope. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Still to come on the CBS Evening News, fighting baldness with a pill, helping memory with a hormone. Another of President Kennedy's alleged plans to get out of Vietnam. A look at nuclear war from the government's secret film archives. And can a millionaire use his money to find his missing children?
My ex-wife.
Why all these laxatives?
Why not?
They have ingredients that may cause pain and cramping.
Says who?
Says on the label. Don't you know nothing's better than Phillips Milk of Magnesia?
All these overnight laxatives have harsh stimulants. Phillips doesn't. It's the only one without the ingredients that may cause pain and cramping, and nothing's more effective.
Did I tell you Phillips is really effective?
You told him.
Phillips, effective relief without harsh ingredients.
There are those in life who watch and those who do. Anna is a doer. Thanks to Advil. It works fast, right at the site of arthritis pain. For all kinds of pain, Advil simply lets people do what they love to do.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
1 minute Malox.
In hospitals, speed counts. Fast-acting medicines, doctors rely on them. So when patients get heartburn, they get 1 minute Malox, not Pepsid AC. Clinical studies prove Malox starts to work on stomach acid in about 1 minute, while Pepsid AC could take over 45 minutes. Here, that's an eternity. 1 minute Malox. Hospitals turn to it first. Shouldn't you?
For heartburn and acid indigestion, do what hospitals do. Count on 1 minute Malox.
Some of the U.S. government's long-held nuclear bomb test secrets of the Cold War came spilling out today on film. And much of the just-released footage underscores how little was known or appreciated back then about the political and medical fallout right up to today. CBS's Jim Stewart has the story and the old nuclear pictures.
At first glance, the 15 films released today look like something Hollywood would produce, but a closer look reveals a reality scarier than any scriptwriter's imagination. America was in a Cold War race to understand the atom bomb, and the films were a chronicle of each step. One test, for example, studied fallout from nuclear artillery rounds.
It detonated perfectly, releasing its lethal radiation.
and revealed the rather simplistic way scientists at the time thought they could brush away the problem. Equally controversial was Operation Plum Bob, which watched the effects of a nuclear blast on live animals. Pigs, because of their human-like cardiovascular system, were a favorite target, as were rabbits held in head vices to test the effect of a blast on their retinas. At an Energy Department press conference today, Secretary Federico Pena tried to put the experiments in context.
The work that you see depicted on these films was work that was necessary to protect our own soldiers.
Many tests, however, seem to have been done out of sheer curiosity. One, for example, posed this question.
Could we kill a modern submarine with an underwater A-bomb?
The answer, it turns out, was no problem. Another test explored whether a soldier could parachute behind enemy lines carrying a small A-bomb. That idea was eventually shelved, but scientists did go on to carefully measure the effects of what they often referred to as their gadgets on both combat troops' equipment and civilian housing. And while it may seem simplistic now, the one lesson each test taught over and over again was this. If you want to have any chance of surviving a nuclear encounter, dig a deep hole. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Also today, some possible new insights about this country's Vietnam policy in the Kennedy years. Newly declassified documents suggest that weeks before he was assassinated in 1963, President Kennedy may have asked for possible contingency plans to end U.S. involvement, which then consisted of 16,000 U.S. troops. President Kennedy had sent those troops in. One memo drawn up by the then chairman of the U.S. Military Joint Chiefs said, quote, all planning, unquote, should aim for complete U.S. force withdrawal in 1965. The UN Security Council today passed a watered-down resolution criticizing but not condemning Iraq for refusing to give UN inspectors full access to suspected weapons sites. The United States had wanted to condemn Iraq, but Russia, China, and France balked at the strong diplomatic language.
I'm on an all-night flight when suddenly, terrible heartburn. The guy in the next seat says, here, try this, Zantac 75. Thanks, I say. Now, I really ought to talk to a doctor about what to try. He says, you just did.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Thanks, doctor, wherever you are.
Zantac 75, the final word in heartburn relief.
Ready to bust your bathroom clean?
Please blast some buster in a bath. How did I know there was a cleaning going on?
Get the cordless submersible Stumbuster and bust your way to an easier clean. Very clever, Black & Decker.
Most cold medicines can raise your blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, don't take chances. Get the facts from the American Heart Association. This message is brought to you by Coricidin HBP, cold medicine specially formulated for people with high blood pressure.
One turkey leg. Give me three. Give me three. Hello, Samsung. Oh, my goodness. Everybody's got one of these. Hold it, hold it. Call waiting. I take 2 calls at once. Ma, stop calling me here. No problem. 4 calls. Samsung. Look, you're tiny. Hey, can I order a pizza on this phone? Samsung, we're on the road.
Samsung, advanced technology products to meet all your communication needs.
It's the perfect gift. Order the Oregon Buyer Video Trilogy for just $40, a $20 savings. Experience Oregon like never before. Call 503-464-0600 for information.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the first ever pill to fight baldness. The drug, Propecia, can slow down, even reverse hair loss in many patients. However, it can have serious side effects. The FDA warns that women should never take Propecia because it has been linked to birth defects. Side effects in men can include lower sex drive. Beyond the news about fighting hair loss, there's new research out tonight about fighting memory loss. As CBS's John Roberts reports, the female hormone estrogen may be a memory drug that really works.
And this is your estrogen prescription.
Claire Rand has been taking estrogen to preserve her bones against osteoporosis. But this new study suggests it might also be helping to preserve her memory.
Women who are taking estrogen show less memory change
than women who have never taken estrogen during their lifetime.
Researcher Susan Resnick's study followed a group of women for 6 years. She put them through a series of tests, as demonstrated here, to determine their ability to remember shapes, and found that participants on estrogen did better on the test than women who had never taken hormone replacement therapy. It's been recently suggested that estrogen may have a protective effect against the development of Alzheimer's disease. But this study went beyond that to look at the normal declines in memory that the majority of Americans experience as they grow older.
This is not Alzheimer's. This is the kind of thing where people have these little moments where they just can't think of a name. That happens to everybody as they get older.
Dr. Lila Noctegal says for women at low risk for breast cancer, this study may be another reason to consider hormone replacement after menopause.
There aren't a lot of things that have helped memory up to now, so anything that helps is a great benefit.
And the benefit might not be limited to women. Though there haven't been any studies yet, estrogen may also have a protective effect in the brains of men. But no one is willing to write that prescription just yet. John Roberts, CBS News, Baltimore.
In Kansas City, hundreds of people were evacuated from their homes and offices after a train carrying propane gas jumped the tracks and exploded in flames. No injuries have been reported.
The nest is empty. Your work is done.
So powerful.
It's time to kick back and have some fun.
So agile.
You got the car now.
DeVille with the North Star system.
For who you are now, you're making whoopee.
DeVille for the time of your life.
Oh, look at you.
And this person writes, how many winners in the sweepstakes with your picture?
Good question. Enough winners to fill not just one, but 3 football stadiums.
Over 250,000 winners. We've already awarded millions of dollars for American Family Publishers. $1 million prizes, $10 million prize.
And the first ever $11 million prize in sweepstakes history.
And now another $11 million prize is at stake. You can win this fast.
In just weeks. So look for our picture and enter.
It feels strong and dependable, yet refreshing. Fix It and Fresh, a stronger, longer hold, combined with a cool, crisp sensation. Fix It and Fresh, and forget it.
This town counts on me. No time to get slowed down by irregularities. My doctor suggested Metamucil, the only leading brand with 100% natural fiber.
Keeps me regular gently so I can keep up.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
In clinical studies, a leading pain medicine significantly reduced minor arthritis pain, increasing range of motion and flexibility. You may be surprised. The medicine in these studies wasn't a pill. It was Bengay. And now, when you use ultra-strength Bengay for your aches and pains, you get the heating power of 3 pain relievers to help you feel better and move better. Ultra-strength Bengay, medicine for your moving parts.
I'm going to see my little boy dying with cancer.
Called one of the 10 best TV programs of 1997. Ed Bradley on Assignment, A Town Under Siege, Tuesday.
A Christmas week story tonight that so far has no happy ending or holiday cheer. It is the story of a highly successful businessman, his former wife, and their 2 children. As CBS's Anthony Mason reports, for all involved, it has truly been a long, long time from May to December.
These are the last known pictures of Ellen Dever Shaw. In May, as she packed up her house, she told the photographer she was going into hiding with her 2 daughters, Sarah, 8, and Genevieve, 6. Her ex-husband has been looking for them ever since.
And I'm not going to stop. I'll spend every penny I have until I find them.
That's a lot. Vipin Shah, the multi-millionaire Philadelphia businessman who helped create the automated teller machine network, has offered a $2 million reward for any information leading to the return of his girl.
I don't care if they ever talk to the children again.
Last year, Shah's ex-wife left this message with a relative.
He's beating me up, threatened to kill me.
Vipin and Ellen Shah had a stormy history in the courts.
She filed 3 protection from abuse reports.
Right.
Did you ever abuse her?
I never abused her, and they never held up in the court.
But for some reason, the ex-Mrs. Shah ran. secretly selling her home and using the $600,000 to vanish.
By being a banker, I started chasing the money.
Shaw tracked it through 2 Pennsylvania banks, the Citibank in London, the Allied Irish Bank, to a bank in Switzerland.
I advised her as to how she would need to hide and hide successfully.
This woman may know where the Shaw children are, but she's not telling. Faye Yeager, famous for hiding women who say they've been abused, says Shaw won't find his children no matter how much he spends.
The only thing I can tell you is that the kids are happy. They are happy.
You just can't hide other people's children because one parent says something. Faye Yeager is not the court and the jury and the judge.
A federal warrant has been issued for Ellen Shaw's arrest. Her ex-husband has hired 30 investigators and spent $700,000. But 2 children are still missing. Anthony Mason, CBS News, Rosemont, Pennsylvania.
With Christmas fast approaching, still no verdict in the Oklahoma City bombing trial of Terry Nichols. After exercising their option to take the weekend off, the jurors returned to Denver federal court today for a 5th day of deliberations. In Sacramento, a jury of 3 men and 9 women was chosen today for the trial of alleged Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. Opening statements are scheduled for the first Monday of the new year. In Los Angeles, a jury awarded actress Hunter Tylo nearly $5 million in damages because she was fired from an acting role when she became pregnant. The 34-year-old Tylo won her discrimination suit against the producers of the TV series Melrose Place. She said it was a victory for all women. Straight ahead now, Eye on America looks at faith in our times.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Tough headache. Yeah, I have some Tylenol in here. I have this. Oh, no, that has caffeine in it. Really? My doctor told me to cut back on caffeine. I didn't know my pain reliever had caffeine in it. He said some have more than a cup of coffee. Well, Tylenol works great without the caffeine. Here it is.
There's no caffeine in Tylenol, only the pure proven pain reliever doctors recommend most.
Hey, let's get some coffee. Decaf. Okay.
All year long, we give away lots of prizes.
I can't believe it. I've been blessed.
But next month, you could win the big one.
This Super Bowl Sunday, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol will surprise a new $10 million winner. Will it be you?
Holy cow.
What will you say? Enter the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes today, and on Super Bowl Sunday, the biggest winner could be you.
Why get a buffer just to polish a weather vane? Why buy a drill if you just want to hang mini blinds? Why buy a sander just to unstick a door? Why struggle with a hacksaw just to cut a closet organizer? Wouldn't it be better to have one tool that handles all those jobs and more? Then why not trust the rotary tool more than 10 million people already rely on? The Dremel rotary tool. Ask anyone who knows. It's the real deal. Also available cordless.
So listen, my wife says, I read you got to take calcium for your bones. And I say, don't I eat at Joe's? And she says, so? And I say, don't I get heartburn? And she says, so? And I say, don't I take Tums? And she says, so? So I say, Tums calcium. Get it?
Tums Calcium knocks out heartburn fast, then helps keep your bones stronger longer. That's something you can't get from my line of liquids, aluminum, and magnesium.
So I say...
As we begin this holiday week, we here on the CBS Evening News also begin a special 3-part look at the role of faith in American life. Consider this: 9 out of 10 Americans say religion is an important part of their lives. Tonight, the story of a man saved by faith, a faith that now drives him to rescue others from a world of death and despair. CBS's Wyatt Andrews reports Eye on America, Faith in Our Times.
That boy can flip, good God! A year ago, in the Benning Terrace area of southeast Washington, the children disappeared when the sun went down. The women, like Linda Smith, stayed inside. It's different now.
Tell me how. Well, it's one thing to shooting, and that has decreased tremendously.
1 year! 1 year! 1 year! A year ago, most of these young men were in the gangs that terrorized these projects. But most of them have jobs now, and soon they'll celebrate 1 year without a single homicide, which is remarkable. It all turned around when a group of men led by ex-con Tyrone Parker
We got to protect it.
came here to teach the gangs how to stop the violence.
We got to be on one accord. And that accordance has got to be for our children. To understand that y'all are giving them a better life. God just sent us on a mission.
Parker's group calls itself the Alliance of Concerned Men, all professional black men, some of whom grew up here, who felt called by their faith to return and commit their time. They say they won't leave until every youth here has a job and a new vision of the future.
This is the force that our communities across the country is missing. Men stepping up to the plate and beginning to taking their rightful part in their communities to show these kids that this is the right way, giving them an option, giving them information that they can believe in.
For 4 years, Benning Terrace was where the gang called the Simple City Crew fought for territory. One summer day, Simple City achieved infamy when crew members opened fire at this neighborhood pool, wounding 4.
There were 61 murders just in this area of Washington, D.C. last year. According to community leaders, many of them were pointless payback killings as the various factions of the Simple City Crew waged war. It all was an endless cycle of revenge until the murder of Darrell Hall.
When 12-year-old Darrell Hall was gunned down, a neighborhood numbed by violence woke up.
That was what brought us all together, to be able to say that enough was enough.
So last January, the Alliance brokered a truce by asking the Simple City Crew one question. What was the violence about? Former crew member Lejon Watson says it was chilling when no one knew.
You never really knew at what point or even why you became enemies.
Right.
That's true.
Exactly. You know, lives were lost for no reason.
The Alliance then worked to get the crew members jobs, contracting, cleanup work. Lejon is a landscaper. Next came driver's licenses and car loans. And there are frequent meetings where the Alliance hammers the message that work is the path to manhood.
The world don't want to see y'all dying. The world don't want to see you doing each other.
You're saying these kids want to do right?
These kids have a dying need inside of them to do right.
They offered a side relief from your heart. Because, I can say for myself, I walked around in pain.
Hey, y'all been? What's up, man?
Today, you'll find Tyrone Parker planting his message in even younger children.
And we touch some lives in here.
Convinced this is how it's done. Hour by hour, job by job, and one teenager at a time,
My man!
his Alliance has given this corner of urban America the gift of peace.
I asked him, could I be in the program with them?
In Southeast Washington, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
Tomorrow night on this broadcast, Faith in Our Times takes you to the heart of American Protestant Christianity in what's been called a spiritual battle to get prayer back into public schools. And that's part of our world tonight. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
You rely on them to get the story. Get it first and get it right. They rely on experience. Turn to the most experienced news team in broadcast journalism. The CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Experience you can trust.